This is the My Excel Online podcast, episode number 30.
Welcome to the My Excel Online podcast, the need-to-know Excel insights, knowledge, and tips brought to you by the experts that know them best. Are you ready to explore your full potential and get better at Excel? It's time to stand out from the crowd with your host, John Michaloudis.
G'day guys and girls, and welcome to our podcast of the best Excel tips of 2021. We do this every year and we gather the Excel experts and MVPs from all over the world to share their best Excel tip of 2021. Now this year, there are lots of awesome Excel tips and I have learned some new cool tips that I didn't even know existed. So there you go. Now, if you want to know each Excel tip and how to use it, make sure to go on to the show notes at myexcelonline.com/podcast and go on to episode number 30. And then in there, I'm going to have the links to each tip so you can find out and learn how you can apply it. Now, at the end of the show, I'm going to give you my best Excel tip of 2021. And you're going to love it. So make sure you stay until the end where I'm going to reveal the best Excel tip that's going to help you a lot this year and going forward. Now, most of these Excel tips you can find in our free ebook. We've created a free ebook called 101 Best Excel Tips and Tricks. You can get a copy of that for free, and most of the tips are in there. To download your free ebook, go on to myexcelonline.com/tips. That's TIPS. So that's myexcelonline.com/tips. You can download your ebook and start learning over 100 Excel tips that's going to save you time and advance your Excel skills. Okay, I can't wait to share all these tips with you. So let's get straight into it with tip number 1.
Hey, it's Bill Jelen from MrExcel. Here's an amazing one that apparently was added about a year ago and none of us ever saw it. You all know, if you select multiple cells that have numbers down in the lower right-hand corner of the status bar, you see the sum of that. You also all know that you can right-click down there and add min, max, count numbers, sum, and average. But here's the new one that I never realized. Left click any of those numbers, for example, the average, and it copies it to the clipboard. And then you can switch over to an email and Control V and paste that number just as, a static number. Pretty wild.
Hi, my name's Jeff with Excel University, and I actually have 2 things for you today. The first is a keyboard shortcut. Press and hold Control, and then hit the page up or page down keys. And what this is going to do is it's going to be a quick way to cycle through the worksheets or the worksheet tabs within the active workbook. And the bonus of using this keyboard shortcut is it applies in many other places besides Excel worksheets. For example, it works in other dialog boxes that have tabs. It even works in other applications. For example, your web browser. So Control page up, page down is a quick way to cycle through tabs. Now, the second thing is an action item for you to do right now. Open up your calendar. Go ahead, I'll wait. Okay, so open up your calendar and add a new event called Learn One New Excel Thing. Mark it as recurring, and maybe you set it for 15 minutes or 30 minutes, and maybe it recurs once a week, once a month, whatever. But guard this time, block it in your calendar, because if you're like me, if something is not in your calendar, it's just not going to happen. So get it in your calendar and make this time for yourself. And then on that time, go and learn one new Excel thing from the millions of online sources and integrate that new skill into your workbook. This habit is going to set you up for continuous growth and improvement for the new year. Excel is a big place. There's plenty to learn. I learn new stuff all the time. So go ahead and pause, open up your calendar, add that event, and have a great new year.
Hey there. My name is Singh. You may know me from my YouTube channel, Power BI Pro, or my website, LearnPowerBI.com. And my best Excel tip of 2021 for you is how to excel in your career. Now, for a big part of my life, I was continuously focused on working hard, and I thought that's what's going to lead me to success. It was when I turned 40 and having gone through multiple layoffs that I started questioning that idea. And only when you ask new questions can you get new answers. Now, of course, I was lucky. I could study my own experience in Microsoft and other top companies in the world, but I also had thousands of students in our Power BI training programs. And I started studying which ones were successful. Now, they were not the ones who worked the longest hours, and surprisingly, not even the ones with the deepest technical skills. What I found was, in this day and age, you can't just do good work and hope to succeed. You got to do good work and tell great stories about your work. The more you share your stories, more the number of people who know about your good work. That is how you become more powerful. That is how you gain more control over your own destiny. That's how you excel in your career. Do good work, tell great stories. Power on, my friends.
OzDuSoleil here from the YouTube channel Excel on Fire. And here is my tip for you in 22. Have some fun in your spreadsheet. Did you know that you can put emojis into a formula? Yes, you can. Now here, let's check this out. You've got some data and you're tracking deadlines. You can write a formula like this. If you are within 2 weeks of the deadline, have the formula return the flame emoji for some urgency. If you are within 4 days of the deadline, have the formula return that scared emoji with the big eyes and eyebrows. And if you are past the deadline, you are going to input the poop emoji because you are in it now, Jack, and you got to get out. And take it a step further. With that data, put it into a table and then add a slicer. Yes, you can filter using a slicer and filter for the scared emoji, the poop emoji, or the flame emoji so that you see what you are dealing with. All right, that's my tip for you in 22.
Hey there, I'm Kat Norton and I'm the founder of MrExcel. My top Excel tip for 2021 is leveraging Excel's superhero, the Flash Fill tool. Flash Fill uses pattern sensing technologies to fill in your cells. For example, if you have a list of first and last names in one column that you are looking to separate out into 2 columns, you can simply type one iteration of the pattern you're looking to do. So for this example, it would be the first name in one column and the last name in another column, and then type Control E on your keyboard or press the Flash Fill button in the Data Tools segment of the data ribbon. It will fill your cells in a flash.
Hey there, this is John Acampora with ExcelCampus.com, and my tip for 2021 is to check out the new Lambda function. Lambda is a function that allows you to write your own custom functions for Excel formulas. And I think it's a really important update to Excel for a few reasons. First of all, Lambda essentially replaces UDFs, or user-defined functions, that are written in VBA. Now, UDFs are great, but they do come with quite a few limitations. And second, Lambda can make your Excel formulas much easier to read and use. And this is great if you're sharing your files with coworkers or clients that are not as Excel savvy as you are. Now, when you first see Lambda, you might think that it's for advanced users only that need to calculate very complex statistical or engineering type problems. However, that's not the case. Lambda is great for any type of formula that has 2 or more functions and repeating arguments. For example, we have a post and video where I explain how to create a Lambda for a formula that calculates the average top 25% of a range of numbers, excluding zeros. Now, that is a relatively complex formula that uses average ifs, percentile, and the if functions. But with Lambda, we can take that complex formula and turn it into a function called average.top. or whatever you want to name it, and the new function only requires 2 inputs from the user to run the calculation. So this makes the formula much easier to read and modify. And the custom Lambda functions can be used anywhere in your workbook or even other workbooks. You can check out our post and video on that at excelcampus.com/lambda. Now, Lambda is just one of the many awesome features that Microsoft has released in the last few years. If you'd like to learn more about the modern features of Excel, then check out our free training webinar called the Modern Excel Blueprint. On the webinar, I explain how to automate processes in Excel with features like pivot tables, Power Query, Power Pivot, Power BI, macros, and a whole lot more. And you can get registered at excelcampus.com/webinar. Thanks again, John. I'm honored to be included in the podcast. I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hello, my name is Chandoo from chandoo.org. And my best or most favorite Excel tip for this year is actually a tip that works across many other Office software. It is to use the newly introduced free icons feature of Microsoft Office. You can use it from the insert ribbon in Excel, Word, or PowerPoint. And I have been using this to get some amazing looking free icons for my presentations, for my charts, and for my reports. Especially when you use this from PowerPoint, you could also get access to images and video clips and illustrations and even cartoon people. So if you have not tried this, go to the insert ribbon on your Office and check for the free icons icon and click on it. Please note that this only works in Excel 365 or Office 365 as of now, but it might even appear in future versions of Microsoft Office 2021. Thank you.
Hi, this is Bob Umlas, a 25-year veteran Excel MVP, telling you my favorite Excel tip of 2021. It actually came to me in a dream. After the dynamic arrays came out, I dreamt the possibility of this happening. I tried it out, and I was floored because it worked. So now here it is. If you define a name in Excel, any name, let's say F or file, and you define it as equals transpose, open paren, files, open paren, and close paren twice, and close that file, close that definition. If you then go to a workbook and type in equals whatever the name you put in, like equals files or equals F, you will get a list of all the files in the current directory. It's quite amazing. You can also filter this by defining a name like XL files, define it as equals transpose, open paren, files, open paren, quote, asterisk dot XL asterisk, close quote, close paren twice, and then type in that name, and you get all the Excel files in the current directory. That's pretty cool, unexpected, but there it was. And in something like that, you could define a name, call it links, L-A-N-K-S, and its name is equals transpose of links, L-A-N-K-S, open close paren twice, and you enter that name in a worksheet, equals links, and you'll see all the links that are in this workbook. There are more like this. From Excel 4, the name files and links is invalid in the worksheet, but valid as a defined name. And hope you enjoy and can make use of this. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Alan Murray from Computergaga.com, and my favourite Excel tip of 2021 is the sum function. Yes, the sum function. Everybody's favourite function that's been around forever. But with the recent developments within Excel, most notably the dynamic array engine, classic functions such as sum, but also if, average, and index especially, have now been given a new lease of life. And I did a YouTube video a few months ago showing numerous examples where the good old sum function can do so much more nowadays. From calculating weighted averages to performing conditional functions that we would previously rely on some ifs or even some products to perform. And everything can now be done with just the normal sum. Now, this is all limited by the version of the recipients of your workbook. They will need to have that dynamic array engine if we're going to use array formulas in this manner. But the sum function has truly established itself as the number one function now. And I encourage everybody listening to this to explore what else can we do. Now that we have the ability to handle arrays within Excel natively, how has this impacted some of the classic functions? It's not all about the new unique sequence, filter, functions, etc., although they are great too. So see what's possible, have an adventure, build a strong fundamental understanding of how these things work. And that is my Excel tip for 2021. I wish you all the best, and we'll see everybody again in 2022.
Hi, this is Bryan Hong of MyExcelOnline.com, and I'd like to share a feature that I consider as a hidden gem in Excel, which is the Analyze Data feature. So you can quickly access this inside the Home tab and then Analyze Data for Office 365. And there's a lot of cool insights that it can give about your data. So you can ask a question in English, right, about your data, and it will give the answers to you. It can also generate charts, pivot tables, which you can insert immediately to your worksheet. And the really nice thing with this one is if you're running out of ideas or if you want to get more value of your data, then Analyze Data is the way to go.
Hey everyone, this is Chris Newman from TheSpreadsheetGuru.com, and this year I'm bringing not one, not two, but 3 quick tips for you as we enter 2022. First, as more and more of us start to utilize Excel Online, there's a little known shortcut to open up fresh Excel Online workbooks. Simply type excel.new into your web browser's address bar, and a blank workbook opens up for you instantly. Next, after years and years without it, Excel now has a reasonable shortcut to scroll horizontally. By holding Ctrl and Shift down on your keyboard, you can use your mouse's scroll wheel to browse your spreadsheet horizontally. And finally, a new feature that just hit Excel beta, but hopefully will be rolling out to 365 plans soon, is the ability to copy status bar statistics. You know those fun stats that appear at the bottom of your window when you highlight a range of numbers? You probably have defaults set to sum, count, and average. Well, those are now available to be copied to your clipboard by simply clicking them. This is perfect for the random times you need to answer an email or throw a figure in a slide. You'll know you have this feature when on a mouse hover, the background color changes slightly in the status bar, like you're clicking a button. I hope I was able to share something new with you today, and if you'd like to learn more tips like these, come visit me at TheSpreadsheetGuru.com and join my free email newsletter.
Hi, my name is Anne Walsh, also known as the Excel Lady. My website is www.theexcelexpert.com with dashes in the middle. And my favourite Excel tip of 2021 is learn how to use the recommended charts feature in Excel. Learn how to just select the data, activate your inner judge Judy, the data, all the data, nothing but the data. So help me, my favourite deity. And just use recommended charts and let Excel recommend something to you. That will save you so much time, particularly if you are new to charts in any way and you can't decide whether in fact a pie chart is the best option for you. Hope you find this useful, and hopefully, we will connect sometime in the new year. Mind yourself, take care, bye.
Do you want to advance your Excel skills? Well, you can with our free Excel tips and tricks ebook. Now, in this free download, you're going to learn the best Excel tips and tricks ever, ranging from formulas, macros, pivot tables, formatting, data, Microsoft Office 365, plus many more. You get 101 best Excel tips and tricks to advance your Excel skills and save you hours. You also get the new Excel tips for Microsoft 365. You also get an easy to read step-by-step guide with screenshots, and you get 101 downloadable practice Excel workbooks for each tip and trick. Now, this book is a must-have for beginner to intermediate Excel users who want to learn Microsoft Excel fast and stand out from the crowd. Now, if you want to get the best time-saving tips and productivity-enhancing secrets, go on to myexcelonline.com/tips and download your free ebook and start advancing your Excel skills straight away.
Hello, this is Gašper Kamenšek from ExcelUnplug.com and the ExcelOlympics YouTube channel, and this is my biggest upgrade to my Excel game in 2021. So I hope you're sitting down, because it's not really an Excel thing, but it does bring your Excel game to a different level. So it's actually a Windows thing, and I think it happened in the summer or something. So it was in Windows 10 and Windows 11. And what you get is, for copying and pasting, like if you're pasting 10 things from one worksheet to another, you would usually have to go to one sheet and go Control-C, then go to another, Control-V, and you will repeat that 10 times. Whereas now, you can go to the first sheet and do Control-C 10 times on 10 different items, and then go to the sheet where you want to paste it, and instead of Control-V, you would press Windows-V. And what you would get is access to the full clipboard, which means you get all of those 10 items listed, and then you can just paste them wherever you want. So I can't stress enough how much this affected my Excel game, and I hope it will excel yours in 2022. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Win Hopkins from AccessAnalytic.com.au over in Perth, Western Australia. My favourite tip for 2021 is that you should learn Power Query. It is an insanely powerful tool that can give you superpowers. If you have ever done things like trim, left, right, mid, concatenate, use the ampersand, filtered data, copy and pasted, Power Query can automate this entire thing. It can consolidate multiple sheets, it can consolidate multiple workbooks, it can unpivot data so it's ready to put into a pivot table. It has so many uses, it's insane, and it's also built into Power BI and many other Microsoft products. It'll even be coming online via data flows in 2022, so check out Power Query, and I hope you have a fantastic new year.
Hello there, my name is Sumit Bansal from TrumpExcel.com, and I want to share one of my favorite Excel tips that I have been using a lot lately. If you use Excel VBA macros and there are some codes that you need to use quite often, then my Excel tip would be to save these frequently used macro codes in the personal macro workbook. When you save a macro code in the personal macro workbook, it becomes available to all the Excel files on your system. So the next time you have an Excel file where you need to use the macro, you don't need to write it again or copy and paste it from somewhere. You can run the code on any Excel file on your system. In addition to this, you can save even more time by adding a shortcut to these frequently used macros to the quick access toolbar. This way, you can run any of the macro codes that is in the personal macro workbook with a single click. That's my Excel tip for you. I hope you find this useful.
Hello, I'm Cristiano Galvão from the Excel Turbo channel on YouTube, and this is my favorite Excel tip of 2021. Analyze data. Data science is the term of this year in technology, but not all the companies have budget to hire qualified people to perform good data analysis. Maybe you are not one of those geeks, but I have some advice to you. Open a dataset and find the Analyze Data button. This button is on the Home tab of the Excel in the Office 365. Once you click it, Excel will bring several insights about your data, detecting trends, outliers, and correlations. The Analyze Data feature is so powerful that it brings reports made with pivot tables and charts with just 2 clicks of distance. Take a look at this feature and tell me later what you think.
Hello, I'm Yvette Szabados from excelneked.hu. One of my favorite Excel tools is Power Query, so my tip of 2021 relates to that. First, if you haven't started to learn Power Query yet, I suggest starting it in the coming year. It will be rewarding. It's easy to use, so don't be afraid to start. And here's my tip. If you need to append tables from multiple worksheets in an Excel workbook, use Power Query. It is dynamic, so when you add new data to your tables, or a new table is added that needs to be appended, just refresh the query and it will include all the new data in the result table. The M function for this is excel.currentWorkbook. I covered the steps detailed in a blog post for you, so go check it and practice. Thank you for listening, and I wish you a happy new year.
Hello, my name is Georg Lasar from albertexcel.com. And my favorite Excel tip of 2021 is about hiding Excel sheets. You probably already know the feature that you can hide Excel worksheets. For doing so, you simply right-click a Worksheet tab and choose the option to hide or unhide worksheets. But you can even do more kind of a hiding. Sounds weird, I know, but there's an option in Microsoft Excel, and here it comes, to let's say very hide a worksheet. You heard right. You can set a worksheet to a very hidden worksheet. And if a worksheet is very hidden, then another user will not see this worksheet when unhiding worksheets the normal way. So here's how to do it. First of all, your Excel workbook needs to have at least 2 worksheets. Now you press the keys Alt and F11 to launch the VBA Editor. Within the VBA Editor, you see all the worksheets of your workbook in the project overview to the left. Select the worksheet that you want to set to very hidden. Now press F4 on a Windows machine or F6 on a Mac to open the Properties window. The Properties window should show up to the bottom left. Within the Properties window, you find an option called Visible at the very bottom. This way you can be -1 for a visible worksheet, 0 for a regular hidden worksheet, and 2 if you want to very hide that particular worksheet. You may ask yourself why you need that information. Honestly, I didn't miss this feature until I found out about it in a project I was working on. So, whenever you want to hide certain information from other Excel users and don't want to show up any kind of values, settings and formulas that need to remain secret, you can give it another access barrier by very hidden worksheets. That's it about my 2021 Excel tip for you. Stay healthy and enjoy the holiday season. Cheers, Georg.
Hi, this is George from StringFestAnalytics.com, and my top Excel tip for 2021 is to consider learning Python. Now, the keyword there is to consider, because I understand there are a lot of things to learn. But if you are, let's say, already a Power BI user, there are ways to officially use Python inside of Power BI. And I always like to say that if there wasn't a need for Python in Power BI, they wouldn't put it there, Microsoft. Excel's likely going to be the same thing, where there will be an official support for Python with Excel. There are already ways to use the two tools in tandem, and if you are looking to do more advanced statistical analysis, if you would like a programming language that comes with lots of goodies and packages, Python is totally free and open source. You can build really robust applications using it. You can do very sophisticated data analysis with it. So there are very real use cases for Python and Excel. So give it a try. See if you like it. And if it turns out that using Power Query is better for what you're doing, or Office scripts or whatever else, then go for it. But ultimately, maybe my real goal for you is to look at Python as just another part of your Excel analytics toolkit, along with all of these other tools that Microsoft's made available to us. So give it a try if you'd like in the new year. And whatever you decide to learn, I hope you have fun doing it. And I hope to see you back here for the next wrap-up podcast for 2022. Can you believe it? All right. Have a good one. And to good friends and good spreadsheets, see you in 2022.
Hello, it's Mark Proctor from Excel Off the Grid. And my tip is that you have to learn how to use Power Query. It's been natively available in Excel since 2016, which means it's now available in most versions of Excel that we come across. And the automation potential for Power Query is huge. In the past, we may have used VBA and needed a lot of complex programming, but that's no longer the case with Power Query. It has predominantly a point-and-click interface, which means we don't need to use any code. And in a study last year, people said that they made between 22 and 89 work days of time saving by using Power Query. And the average across that study was 76 days. Now, depending on how many bank holidays and annual leave days that you get, that's about 30% of your time that the average person says they save by using Power Query. What it does is that it takes the source information, it extracts all of that, and allows us to convert it into a data format. This leaves us with just the columns we need in a well-structured layout. Then we can load that into Excel for all of our reporting. If you think about how reporting normally works, it involves these kinds of steps: copy, paste, delete columns, change formulas, open another file, copy and paste some more, remove duplicates, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on. And we have to repeat these steps over and over again. But with Power Query, once we've done it once, we can simply click refresh the next time, and it will perform all of those steps for us. And with the output being in a data format, it means it's optimized for using formulas such as SUMIFs. It's optimized for pivot tables, and we can easily use it with Power Pivot or Power BI. I really can't stress how important Power Query is and how much of a change it will make to your life. So if you're an employee, invest some time in learning how to use Power Query. If you're an employer, send your people on Power Query courses, give them books, give them training. Because if they can save an average of 76 days per year, think how much benefit that will give you. It won't even take them 76 days to learn how to use it. So you will get the payback in less than 12 months. So that's it from me. I wish you all a very successful 2022.
Hello, my name is Yolanda Cuesta from ExcelContabilidadYTIC.com. And this is my favorite Excel tip of 2021. It's about the new tool called Accessibility. You can find it in the tab Review. And then you can make your Excel document accessible to people with disabilities, so they can read and use Excel workbooks easily. I recommend you to improve your Excel files with this tool. And finally, I want to wish you an excellent 2022 year.
Hey everyone, my name is John McDougall from HowToExcel.com, and my favorite Excel tip for 2021 is to get to know the let and lambda functions. So these are two new functions that are available in Excel for Microsoft 365. So the let function is all about writing more efficient and easier to read formulas in Excel. So it allows you to define a calculation by name and then reference that calculation multiple times within a formula once you've defined it. The lambda function, on the other hand, is all about building your own custom functions. So if you use the same calculation multiple times throughout your workbook, then you can instead build a custom function to perform this calculation. So this way you can define your calculation once and use it multiple times, just like any other standard Excel function. These are two amazing new functions and they work really well together. So when you're building your new custom functions with the lambda function, you can take advantage of the let function to make sure the calculations that you're using are efficiently performed. So these are two new functions that you definitely want to start exploring and add to your arsenal of tools.
Hi, my name is Frederic Le Guen from France, and I'm the owner of the website ExcelExercise.com. My favorite Excel tip of 2021 is the map chart. In the chart menu, you can find the chart type map. This type of chart is impressive because it recognizes the shape of countries, states, counties, and even zip code. But if you have ever tried to use it, maybe the map chart didn't draw the province or regions like you expect. In fact, to use it properly, you must respect two rules. The first one is the name of the header. Because if you don't correctly write your header, the map will not recognize the content of your cells. For instance, in France, the subdivision of the country is not states, but regions. So, if I write in the header the word region, the map draws nothing. If I write regions with a S, the map draws 4 or 5 shapes of the subdivision in France. But if I write province or states, no problem. The map draws each shape of the French subdivision correctly. So, as you can see, the name used in your header is crucial for drawing correctly your map. And there is another important tip with this chart. When you want to draw the shape of the states or counties or zip code, it's important to add the name of the country in the first column. So, if you want to see all these tips in action, I have done a video and you can find it on my YouTube channel, Excel Exercise. Enjoy!
Hey guys, I'm Ryan Wells from Welser.com, and my favorite Excel tip for 2021 actually involves a little programming with Python. If you're not familiar with Python, it's a fantastic programming language with a wide range of use cases, and one of the libraries that's particularly useful for analyzing and manipulating data, just like you would in Excel, is called Pandas. Pandas has an incredibly useful feature called Read Excel, that's read_Excel, that lets you import data from an Excel file into what's called a Pandas data frame, so you can do all kinds of super fast, complex manipulations. Once you're done, Pandas also comes with an Excel writer where you can write data to an Excel file using the to_Excel method. I'm not saying that Python is going to replace all your Excel spreadsheets, and it certainly shouldn't, but if you have a large data set in Excel and you want to do some sophisticated analysis or manipulation on it, Python with Pandas is a great tool because you can go from Excel to Python and back seamlessly.
Hello everyone, Jordan Goldmeyer here. My favorite tip for you is called formula text. Now, what does formula text do? It is a formula that allows you to reference another cell, and it just shows you the formula of that cell. Sounds simple. I use it a lot while teaching, so it's very useful because I can show someone what I've done, and then I can move on to another topic and still have that formula up there for them to look at. Now, you can also use it for auditing. Great for formula and workbook auditing of a financial model. Now, if you want more tips, including on a tip on how to create an interactive periodic table of elements in Excel using the rollover method, a bug I have exploited in Excel to run a macro when you hover over a cell. If you want to know how to do that, you can go to my Instagram at Jordan Goldmeyer, and you can go ahead and click on the link in the bio, and that's going to take you to the download form and video that's going to show you how to do it.
Hey guys and girls, John Michaloudis here with my best Excel tip of 2021, and it is Instagram Reels. So what we have done this year is we are posting Reels, and if you don't know what they are short visual Excel tips that are usually less than 30 seconds, and it shows an Excel tip. And these have been very popular over at our Instagram account, which is at MyExcelOnline. And have a look at the reels there. We have, at the time of recording, over 500,000 followers, and it's growing exponentially. Now, these reels are awesome way for you to learn Excel, and a tip because they're quick and practical, and you can learn them straight away and use them with your workbooks. We go over formulas, pivot table, dashboards, charts. Everything under the sun is there for you. And you're going to get these reels sent to you. We do them 3 times a week. And it's a great way when you are not working and you're busy on your phone to learn Excel, because that is a great way for you to increase your Excel skills and advance your level. And it only takes 30 seconds to learn one tip. So make sure you go over and follow us on Instagram at MyExcelOnline. Okay, this has been a great podcast episode. I hope you've learned a lot. Make sure to apply at least one tip. If you can just learn one tip and master that, then you've got something out of this show, and you're gonna obviously increase your Excel skills. So make sure just to use one tip and apply it. And before you go, head over at myexcelonline.com/tips to download your free 101 Best Excel Tips and Tricks ebook so you can advance your Excel skills. Speak to you soon.